I'm going to show off my incredible brain. This will be messy for 1 sec and very infinite, but it'll make sense in a second. So first, I'm going to just go through why I'm doing this. So I found this website. I was trying to do a little research into the idea of what's gone on with housing prices. And I found this article and it pissed me off. It's actually called Now and Then, Do Canadian Homes Really Cost That Much More Than 30 Years Ago? Now, this is written in 2015, so it's looking at 1985 to 2015, which is an interesting thing because I personally, I have this whole thing that I'll probably do as a separate conversation around the cost of houses and how that's kind of a giant fucking problem. But I was questioning myself. And that comes down to here. It's like, let's provide some perspective, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Home buyers in 1985 needed 25% down compared to only 5% currently. 5-year fixed mortgage rates were 13.25% in 1985 versus 4.79% now. So that is a different perspective. This means a first-time home buyer needed a down payment that was 5 times larger and paid 3 times as much interest on every dollar borrowed. Maybe things weren't so great back then after all. Let's try to compare apples to apples in 1985 Toronto versus today. This is a misleading chart, and I'm going to bring up, this is why I had all this wackiness, and it's going to get weird for a second, but trust me, it'll be okay. Where am I? Here. So I'm going to bring this up. This is essentially the numbers that they're using. So, looking at an average home price, in 1985, an average home, this is Toronto numbers, but they work for Canada in general, give or take. $109,094 was your average home price. In 2015, that's $566,696. So a pretty substantial jump. Median income, almost 32 grand versus just about 75 grand. So the home price to family income ratio here is interesting. So this is, it's about, essentially, if this is your 1 year, then it would take 3.41 years to cover the cost of a house, versus today it would take 7.62 years. Down payment, $27,273.50 from 1985. And I'm doing this specifically because these numbers roughly match with here. There's some rounding differences or whatever, but roughly, so they said $27,274 and 25% down payment of $141,674 presents an image, and you go, oh, obviously home prices have risen considerably. It's easier to buy a home now because you only need 5% down. Interest rate declines have been the only thing that's kept homes affordable. And so this chart makes it look fairly reasonable, right? Your mortgage payment to income ratio was 34.41%. In other words, your mortgage payment was a third of your income. Now it's 2/5. So that's not so bad. Except I didn't like that because that's misleading bullshit. So being me, I challenged it and was like, let's take a look at some actual numbers here. I just hit the wrong thing entirely. I want to show rows, not hide them. Why am I fucking up? This is the joy when your coffee table is actually 3 cushions. So this is based on a 25% down payment in 2015, which isn't apples to oranges and isn't talking about what they're trying to convince us of. Because what they're trying to say is that we actually have a much easier cost of entry, but $141,000 down payment may not be all that easy, especially when your mean income isn't even your down payment, right? And I guess that wasn't the case here either, but I'm going backwards. So you're in 1985, your down payment was less than 1 year. In 2015, it's closing in on 2 years. So that's a big difference. So I want to change this, and I want to say, let's do a 5% down payment. Now, my monthly payment is going to change too. Where am I? I have a bunch of, I have an amortization calculator that's open here. So when we change it to 5%, that means our down payment is $28,334.80, which means that the outstanding is actually, unlike before, where it was $425,000, now it's $538,361.20. So that's happens to be the number I put in there. 25% term, or 25-year term at 4.79%, which is what we're going with here, actually yields our monthly pay is $3,081.69, which is a bunch bigger than it was when it was $2,400. Like, that's a bunch of money, but that's doable. In my mind, that one, not so doable. So I took your yearly income and divided by 12. So in your month, your 35% of your income in 1985 went to your $938.24 payment, whereas now it's 49.73% of your income, which is a whole lot more. And generally speaking, they're always like, if you're gonna do, like buying a house, your mortgage payments should be about a third of your income. So this is higher than a third. That's half my income. Your lifetime interest paid is actually like $386,000. Okay, your total monthly payout, if you add up the 25 years of payments, is $924,507,000. Add in your down payment, you just spent $952,000 on a $566,000 house. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but these numbers are more accurate if they're trying to sell the idea that your cost of entry is easier because it's a 5% down payment and lower interest rate. That's cool, but show the actual thing. So when they, in this article, they don't do that. They talk about, oh yeah, it's interest rate declines, but the only thing that's kept home affordability in line with 1985, it's not in line with 1985, because if you do 5% interest 5% down, you're looking at gigantic monthly payments of $3,000, and that's half your average monthly income. So it's a lie, folks. It's a giant filthy lie. Anyways, I just thought that was an interesting thing, because I found it as I was doing. So basically, I was researching this as a possible thing to do a stream about, talking about the way that home ownership has sort of changed in the last little while. It's not quite so easy anymore for people to own homes, and I think that's a big deal. I think it's a real problem, and so I wanted to do this whole thing about it. And I found that article, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong about all of this. Maybe this 5% down and low interest rates, maybe that does change things, and it does change things. It just doesn't fucking help. The idea that buying a home, you should be making $6,000 a year, like, okay, I'm cool with that, but a lot of people don't make $6,000 a year. $6,000 a month, and $3,000 a month of that going just to your mortgage payment. Like, that's a little out of the realm of reasonable, I think. And the reason I thought it was something that would be worth talking about is just to sort of go through the math and be like, this. So this was from the Financial Post, and this is why we don't trust the media, because the media lies to us far too fucking often. But you can still believe some of what you read. But we should question things, and we should be able to go, hey, that doesn't make any sense at all. At fucking all. First off, I want to say thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Thank you to my patrons that support me on Patreon. I am a little streamer, and these people are all really awesome for supporting me. First, to the followers, those diabolical souls who hear the words and give of themselves, your faith shall be rewarded. Thank you to I Am Canadian. My next tier is the prophets, those who receive the whispered truths before the masses, who hear the word and speak it smugly before other people get to. Special huge thanks go to my one prophet, Shithead Dave Anderson. And of course, my final tier of supporters is the Gods. This tier is the most expensive and likely to never have any members, but Patreon really told me I should have one, so it's true, I guess. There are no gods. If you want to be a patron, head over to www.patreon.com/BigUglyJim and sign up, and you too can get a hearty, rousing, full of love thanking. I try to put up stuff at least once a week, and I live stream every Saturday at noon Mountain Time on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, like an old man. Again, thanks for watching, and have a kick-ass day.